In the previous two videos, I covered the effect of Jupiter and Saturn in their transit now, but especially as we get into the new year, and most especially during the period of time from mid-January to mid-March, because it is when they are most intense. To that, we now have to look at what Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Eris are doing in their transits. And as it turns out, to the great misfortune of the Mar-a-Lago orange menace, these planets are also very problematic. You see Uranus here in the 16-degree range in early December, moving its way to a station at 15 degrees Taurus effectively, and then returning to 16. So the whole time it is parked at the midpoint of his Sun-Eris connection. This means the Uranus is activating and turning on an area that is quite dangerous to him, because the Eris is connected to legalities, and the Uranus itself at birth is a very dynamic planet since it opposes the moon. Therefore, this is very challenging, and so much so that probably when it happens, he'll be shocked, although in reality he shouldn't be shocked, because what happens when you commit crimes over and over and over, eventually the law catches up with you. Either way, this is a very problematic transit. Neptune has been in these degrees for quite some time and continues to be as we go into the new year, which is to say 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a square to the Sun, also to the Moon, though a little less, but especially to the Sun. This is a very dangerous house, the 8th, where we see matters of insurance, taxes. However, it is also a very dangerous house for health. And so that's definitely a risk there. And so this planet becomes a second problem as far as the trans-Saturnian planets are concerned. Then we get to Pluto, which has been opposing his Saturn-Venus conjunction, most especially the Venus, in recent years. It's a very slow-moving planet. Now it's moving to the later degrees of Capricorn. The problem with that is that as it moves toward first the 27, 28 degree, it's still doing a 150 to this Mars, and then it'll do a 150 to the ascendant. All of that you can see here during this swath and beyond, but certainly during the swath it is challenging in quincunx, which is a 150, which most explicitly is a health aspect. So you now have two health aspects in play. However, with or without a health problem, this is a aspect that points to maladjustment and generally things not going well. So it certainly does not help him. It becomes one more factor working against him. And finally, probably most problematically, you see the Eris here moving in a glacially slow pace, because it'll be at these 24, 25 degree range in Aries. It'll be there till the end of the decade and beyond. And it's placed up here, transiting in the 9th, square Venus, which means it's transiting through the legal house, where it is at birth, part of the Access Hollywood T. This is a very dynamic planet and very dangerous. This would probably be the most direct planet in terms of describing this man's karma catching up with him as a result of many years of chaotic living and living constantly on the edge of the law and very frequently transgressing the law. And therefore, now it's catching up to him, and in a square to Venus, Venus rules his 10th, which is his place of reputation, career, rules both the midheaven axis and the zenith axis. Therefore, you can count on this chipping away forevermore, but especially now, because at this point in time it becomes one more factor in his demise. And so essentially, pretty much the entire zodiac is against him. And what can you say? As I've often said, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.